values between the two countries are so significant, share values like democracy, rule of law, a market economy. American citizens who are of Indian descent, they have continued to contribute to the improved relations between the United States and India.
Good morning, you're watching CNN News 18 and I'm Sakshi Litoriya here to bring you all the latest news and developments from across the globe. Today, we are bringing you a special broadcast on Prime Minister Modi's state visit to the United States. Now, in a historic moment for India, Prime Minister Modi will embark on an official state visit to the USA. In its sixth visit to the US, but why this one is particularly crucial, we will be telling you why. Now, the countdown to Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States is over. The Prime Minister will be leaving for the United States at around 7 a.m. today. Ahead of Prime Minister Modi's expected departure today, Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra shared details on the Prime Minister's itinerary during a special briefing. Prime Minister will first participate in International Yoga Day celebrations at UN headquarters, where delegates from around 195 countries will do yoga along with him. Now, the Prime Minister will then fly to the Washington, D.C., where he will be hosted by President Joe Biden and the First Lady Jill Biden at the White House, followed by participation in an event for skill development and capacity building. He will also meet with CEOs of American multinational companies. The Prime Minister will also address American Parliament and diaspora events, including meetings with prominent Americans. Now, Republicans and Democrats have issued several statements welcoming Prime Minister Modi and showing enthusiasm to attend his address. A series of high-level meetings on defense is also on Prime Minister's agenda this time. This visit is focused on strengthening the bilateral ties between Washington, D.C. and New Delhi. In the major three-day visit, defense deals are also expected to be inked between the two nations. CNN News 18's managing editor Zaka Jacob brings you ground reports from New York. So this is going to be a very crucial meeting for Prime Minister Modi, as he will be there for a three-day visit. He was officially invited by US President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden. Now, ahead of Prime Minister Modi's expected departure today, Foreign Secretary Vinay Kwatra also shared details on the Prime Minister's itinerary during a special briefing yesterday. Now, Prime Minister will first participate in International Yoga Day at UN headquarters, where delegates from 195 countries will do yoga along with him. Now, we have some official ground reports coming in straight from New York, as CNN News 18's managing editor bring you these. Let's check them out.
So it's a big week, clearly, for Indian diplomacy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is undertaking his first ever state visit to the United States in his 9 years as Prime Minister. Remember, he's been here 6 times in the last 9 years, ever since he assumed prime ministership. But this is the first time that he will be the recipient of all the pomp and ceremony and the grandeur of a state visit. There's going to be the state banquet that's going to be hosted at the White House. That's going to happen on Thursday. But before that, first he comes here to New York City, to the Big Apple. He will be leading the Yoga Day celebrations at the UN headquarters, which is on the Upper East Side, the iconic UN headquarters building, at 6 a.m. New York time. Prime Minister Modi, along with diplomats, including the UNGA President, the United Nations Security Council Secretary General, all of them will be part of the Yoga Day celebrations. That's going to happen on Wednesday, 6 a.m. local time here in New York City. Also, a whole bunch of substantive deals, particularly in defense technology, are going to be signed. The big one, of course, being the GE jet engine deal for the 414 GE jet engines, which are going to be manufactured in India. There's going to be a great degree of technology transfer as well as part of that deal. We're given to understand that by value, close to 80% of value of the jet engine will be transferred and the technical know-how will be transferred to the Indian counterparts. Also, the other big deal in the defense realm, which is expected, happens to be the Predator armed drone deal. Now, remember, the Predator drones are something that the US has very successfully deployed in the heartlands of Afghanistan against the Taliban, also operating on the terrorists who are operating from Pakistan. So it's been a very successful defense component of the US military relationship. They've been using this since the late 2000s. And for the very first time, they are extending this technology to India. We are given to understand that all three services, the Army, Navy and the Air Force, had expressed interest in buying some numbers of the Predator armed drones. We don't know the exact number or the value of this deal. That will likely be revealed through the course of this week. But I think it's going to be substantive that for the first time, an unmanned aerial vehicle deal of this nature is being signed between the United States and India. And of course, the commercial partnership will also be extended. There are a whole bunch of CEOs that the Prime Minister will be meeting, both here in New York as well as, of course, in Washington, D.C. He will also be taking part in a US IPF event as well. So it's going to be a packed itinerary for the Prime Minister over the next 3 days, both here in New York as well as in Washington, D.C.
On the first day of his arrival in Washington, D.C., on 21st, the first key engagement would be an event that is focused on skilling for future, which essentially would try to bring out the key complementarities and the objectives that both systems seek to promote and achieve in the field of skilling and capacity building. There is a deep and widespread interest in the Honorable Prime Minister's visit to the US. There is an extensive government-wide effort on both sides to enrich the relationship further by including some of the key areas of cooperation.
The United States is in full anticipation and great excitement for the official state arrival visit of His Excellency Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let me first say to His Excellency, Prime Minister Modi, welcome to the United States. I am so looking forward to greeting you next week and participating in the festivities in your honor. Prime Minister, we share many common bonds. We are both people of strong faith. We both value strong family. And we both believe that the greatest democratic virtue.
On behalf of the people of Connecticut, I want to extend a very warm welcome to Prime Minister Modi on his state visit to the United States. India and the United States have a shared appreciation for democracy. It's a special occasion as the leader of the world's largest democracy visits the world's oldest democracy. Our shared values of and diversity nurture the bond between our peoples. Connecticut is home to a vibrant and growing Indian community. The largest percentage of immigrants in Connecticut are Indian, and we are so proud they have chosen to make Connecticut their home.